Garbage collection is a process that happens periodically on the heap memory. What this process does is it will scan the entire heap memory and it collects all the objects that does not have any references. Ultimately, all these collected objects would get destroyed out of the memory so that the memory will get freed for new objects to get created. So when do we say an object does not have its reference? There are primarily three cases where this can happen. Take a look at this program. In the first line we have the dog object. Now D1 is made to null. That means this reference type is not pointing to any object in the heap memory. Now this object does not have any references, so it qualifies for garbage collection. Similarly, here we have a couple of objects of class dog. D2 is now pointing to the D3 object, which is this. So this object in here will qualify for garbage collection. And in here it's pretty straightforward. We don't even have the reference type. So it's just plain object, virtually useless. So even this object will qualify for garbage collection. Another thing I want to talk about is the finalize method. Finalize method is method inside the class called object. And as I've mentioned, object class is the parent of any class in your project. Take a look at this class. The dog class is extending animal. Let's press Ctrl and then click this to open the file. Now animal is extending living being. Now living being is actually extending the object class implicitly. Even if you don't give the statement, it is doing the same. You give it or not give it, the result is same. So now going back, before the object gets garbage collected, the Java virtual machine will run the finalize method of that object. In this case it's dog. So why do we have the finalize method? Is to free up any open files or database connections associated with that object. We don't want to keep the connections open, etc. We're going to talk about streams, database connections, all such sort of things in future videos. But for now, just think of it this way, like we should not be keeping any open DB connection when we are destroying the associated object. That will be taken care by the JVM itself. But in case if you wanted to override that method, you can do that. For example, you can say, I don't want JVM to perform its own action. I want to do something with the finalize method when my object is getting destroyed. In that case, you can always override that method like so. So we have overridden the finalize method from the object class and we're just printing the statement. Every time the object gets garbage collected, before that happens, JVM will call the finalize method automatically. Now I said garbage collection is a process that happens periodically. That also means that it is not guaranteed. So if I run this program, there is no guarantee that the garbage collection process kicks in. In order to kickstart the garbage collection process explicitly, you're going to use the method inside the system class, which is system.gc. GC stands for garbage collection. If we run this program, then every time an object is getting garbage collected, it's going to call that object's finalize method. In this case, we have overridden that method and printing the statement. So ideally, since we're losing references for 3 objects here, we should be seeing this message 3 times. Let's run the program. There you go.